Let's take a look at the placement process in action. In addition to watching the placement steps, pay attention to the teacher's testing behavior. Notice how Mrs. Hayes explains the process in terms the student can understand, and how she involves the student in the decision.
Hi, Heather.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. So good.
Heather is a third grader who's more than a year behind in reading.
So Heather, have you ever been shopping for shoes with your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you do? How many pairs of shoes do you try on usually?
Usually 3.
3 pairs of shoes? How come you do that?
Because my mom, she picks 2 kinds of shoes for me, and one of them usually doesn't fit me, so she has to try it.
Exactly. You need to find the right fit, right? Well, we're going to do the same kind of thing here today, okay? I'm going to have you read a couple different passages, and so that we can find the right fit for you for reading, okay? The right reading level for you.
Mrs. Hayes estimates that Heather reads at a first grade level, so she'll begin by asking Heather to read the 1.5 passage from the placement packet. Mrs. Hayes checks the placement table and notes that for 1.5 to be a good fit, Heather must read the passage at a rate that's between 30 and 60 words correct per minute.
So first we'll start out having you read from this passage, okay? Now I'm going to time you for a minute when you're reading. And so when I hear your voice, I'm going to start my timer, okay? So whenever you're ready to start reading, you can go ahead, okay?
The giraffe is a very tall animal. In fact, the giraffe lives in small groups. A giraffe can close its...
Excellent job. Let's see how you did, huh? Okay, you read all the way to that to close. Okay, so you read 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76 words. So you read 76 words. And you missed 6 different words. There were 6 words that you had trouble with. So you had 6 errors. So that means that you read 70 words correct in that minute.
Mrs. Hayes checks the placement table to assess the result of the first reading. Because Heather's reading rate of 70 words read correctly per minute falls above the range, she gives Heather a higher level passage to try.
I think this story is a little too easy for you. What do you think? Yeah, I think so too. Let's try another level, okay? We'll try one that's a little bit harder. Okay, so again, when I hear your voice, I'll start my timer.
Are you afraid of heights? Check weather or send TV shows. A hot air balloon.
All right, good job. That time you got all the way to air. So 58, 59, 60, 61. So you had 61 words that you read, and you had 9 different errors on that one, okay? 9 words were tricky for you, which meant you read 52 words correct in that minute timing.
The score of 52 words read correctly per minute falls within the 30 to 60 range found on the placement table. The 2.0 level of material looks like a good fit for Heather.
I think this is probably a pretty good level for you. But why don't we just try one more level, okay? One more story and see how this one fits. So again, we're going to do the same thing. Whenever you're ready to start reading, I'll start my timer.
In 1950...
Mrs. Hayes thinks that Heather might be able to handle harder material, so she tests Heather one more time using the next higher passage, level 2.5.
We're so hot.
Excellent job. Let's see, this one, you read hot, so that's 36, 37, 38. 38 words you attempted in that one. And you missed...
With 11 mistakes, Heather's score of 27 words correct per minute falls below the range on the placement table.
This one was kind of hard, wasn't it?
Mrs. Hayes involves Heather in the decision-making process by asking for her opinion on the difficulty of the story.
Do you think maybe that this level that we read back here was probably a better fit for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. So now when you come into school tomorrow, I'm going to have a folder all ready for you. And at the top is going to be your name, okay? Inside the folder will be 12 stories, all at this level that was the right fit for you. And I will also have a goal in there for you as well. Okay? So I will see you tomorrow.
Now Heather's teacher needs to decide on a curriculum. Mrs. Hayes looks at the curriculum options table for the level she selected, 2.0. In placement level 2.0, she has a choice of the sequence curriculum or of a phonics curriculum that works on blends and digraphs. Based on a review of Heather's records, Mrs. Hayes believes Heather doesn't need help decoding blends and digraphs, so Mrs. Hayes decides to place her in the sequenced curriculum. Finally, Mrs. Hayes must determine a reasonable goal. She takes Heather's placement score in the 2.0 passage, 52, and because Heather's below 5th grade, she adds 30. Then she rounds the result to the nearest 5 to get a goal of 80.